Hi, this is Alexia Tsotsis with TechCrunch TV, and I'm here with SimpleGeo co-founder Matt Galligan.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. He's also the real MG on Twitter.
At MG, yeah, I do have that.
So you just had a panel with the CEO of Shopkick. His name was
Syriac.
And Jeremy Stoppelman from Yelp, and it was on geolocation. And the theme of this conference is points of control. So what do you think some of the biggest points of control in geolocation are?
You know, I think right now, the biggest is access to data. So as we think about, we provide tools to developers to make it easy to add LocationAware services to their apps. The issue has always been, the data that backs that up. And sometimes that means places, sometimes that means, roads, where are roads at? Sometimes that means what's the weather and things like that. One of the challenges that we've understood and discovered is that getting data is actually kind of hard. Getting quality data is also difficult. And I think one of the things that we believe in so wholeheartedly is that a fact should be free. So the fact that the Palace Hotel stands here, that should be free. It's currently not. So currently it's in a series of silos, and of course all the common names are there. But the idea is that if we want LocationAware services to become a big deal, and they're certainly on their way. Just as Foursquare should be able to get access to that kind of data, and a Fortune 500 company get access to that data, the small garage shop developer should also be able to get access and unencumbered access, meaning that they can do whatever they want with that data. And as of right now, that's a bit of an anchor, unfortunately.
And you're most famous, at least in my world, for Mike having written a post, what does SimpleGeo, or
Sure.
it's called Be Simple or something.
Yeah.
And the premise of the post is, what does SimpleGeo do?
Yeah.
So what does SimpleGeo do?
You
mentioned a little bit, but.
Right. I mean, the challenge is that we are a developer infrastructure. And so sometimes we don't always have that simple, really quick quip that can really immediately explain what we do.
It's a chat roulette for.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of thing. But what we do is we provide tools for developers that make it easier to add location. And then that can mean a lot of different things, and that's the problem. It's like when we go to developers, they talk to us about their problems of, I need places, or I need to know what neighborhood somebody is standing in, and simple things like that. So what we try to do is break down those barriers. We take the brunt of the difficulty. We take the data, we take the difficult math and everything like that around, not only where one point is in correlation to another point, but for instance, storing and scaling geodata, taking all of those bits and pieces, coupling that into an API and allowing a developer to just jump in and use whatever they need to get location services accomplished. Mainly because we believe that location is something that can be added into anything, and that it's just a layer. It's not necessarily the product that you need to do. It can just be a tiny little feature that can be added. And by providing tools, that means that developers will be able to do that. That no matter how minuscule a particular location feature might be, that we can come in, work with the developer, and they can create whatever fancy check-in thing if they want, or just knowing what the weather of where somebody is standing is. We want to be able to provide those services to those developers.
Can you name some people that you're working with right now?
Yeah, so I think a very good example would be, for instance, Sticky Bits would be a good example. Sticky Bits, we always love talking about them because they have a very novel approach to barcodes. Barcodes are boring, right? Well, Sticky Bits has got this cool app, and they just did a revision the other day where you take a picture of the barcode and you're able to see, content that's been posted to that barcode, which is a kind of fascinating thing. So what we've done with them is be able to geocode those barcodes. So not only can you know where that barcode has been scanned throughout the world, but also what barcodes have been scanned nearby. And that's a pretty basic thing that can be done, but the thing that we've discovered is that we've worked with companies anywhere from a tiny little developer just in their garage banging something out, all the way up to Fortune 500s. And the coolest thing that we've been able to understand is that those kind of broad range tools that we're able to provide mean that anywhere from the garage shop developer all the way up to the Fortune 500 is able to actually get something done. And they're able to build something that, with the complexity of location removed, they're able to let their imaginations run wild and build something valuable.
You said on stage that it's no longer the era of location-based services, but it's the era of location-aware
Right.
services.
I mean, it's a very careful distinction, but the point is that we had to start out somewhere, right? We had to have the Friendster area of location services. And think about it like this, you know, when these services and apps started to come out, they were called location-based services, meaning that their feature is based in location, like that is what they are. So, you know, very good example, Dodgeball originally, you get the bright kites, you get the Foursquares of the world. Now we're getting to a point where location is becoming a layer, you know, whereas social had to move from the Friendster movement of it being the particular feature that everybody is using to the Facebook world, and then Facebook being able to disseminate social features among everything. We sort of see the same thing happening inside of location, where it's like, it doesn't matter that it is the feature. What matters is that something about the app is powered, at least in part, by location, no matter how small it is. And so I just make the distinction of location aware as opposed to location based, because, you know, we believe location is context. And if something is location aware, it means that an app knows where you're standing, and by knowing where you're standing, the app can change and be better and be different and whatever it needs to be for you. So it's just a new way of continual targeting, continual contextual relevance.
What do you think of major incumbents like Google and Facebook getting into the space?
I think it's inevitable. I think that, you know, everybody was talking about validation over the last few days, and I think it's actually truly validation for where the space is going. That if Facebook and Google and Twitter and all of these guys recognize location as being an incredibly important facet of their businesses, that by that example existing, that all the rest of the world's going to need to catch up. Everybody's going to need to find a way of integrating location into those, into apps and products and things like that. So, you know, I think that the fear is that they'll own, you know, a decent amount of these kind of things. And for instance, like Facebook, you know, replacing Foursquare. But the reality is that, you know, there are always going to be examples of big companies turning on features that are going to potentially cannibalize an entire market. When in reality, what we've seen is even when Facebook had the status update, Twitter still survived. And I think that it's just a matter of time before we're not talking about location as something where, oh my God, X company added location, now they're going to own this. Because in reality, everybody's going to have location in a certain way.
What do you think about the statistic that 4% of Americans now use geolocational services versus 5% last year? Did you read this weird study?
It's, you know, the thing is I think that the problem is these studies are being based on what I would consider location-based services, meaning that...
Not location aware.
Right. So meaning that because location is simply becoming a part of everything, that distinction is going to go away, but right now the analysts are basing all of their information off of a few specific apps. And maybe the trend is going to be that those apps kind of fade away a little bit, but then all of the rest of the stuff, which just has location built in as a component, that's what's going to rise. I mean, for instance, your camera app on your iPhone, when you pull it open for the very first time, it says, this app would like to know where you're standing, right? And what happens is every picture that's taken is geocoded so that I know where each one of those pictures have been taken. That's going to be a trend in every single app. There's going to be that little dialog that comes up, do you want to share your location with this application? And what's going to happen is tiny little components of that app are going to change. And those aren't location-based services. And those analysts aren't going to be able to point to every single app because it's every single app. And so I think that it's a bit of a misnomer, but it's accurate in that they're talking specifically about apps whose core function is location.
Got it. So it's like they're not even aware that their location is being shared.
Exactly. Well, they would be aware that the location is being shared, and of course privacy concerns are of utmost importance in that regard. But as far as it just becoming a seamless part of the experience, that's what's going to be more important. You know, and thankfully the device manufacturers have provided ways of opting out of these things, because privacy is an absolute concern. Like, it's a huge concern among all of us in this industry. And so providing these opt-out means and things like that are going to be incredibly important.
So you just hired former Dig CEO Jay Adelson as your CEO.
Yes.
Is this part of a greater expansion effort, and what was the motivation to hire a new CEO?
It comes down to a couple things. Joe and I, my co-founder and I, recognize that there's an incredible opportunity to be had in this market, that location is becoming part of everything. And so to best capitalize on that, I just recognize, look, I have got a deep love and respect for this space, and I want to do as much as I possibly can. But to be able to mirror and hopefully go past this trend of everybody getting into location and becoming a white hot space, we knew we needed some help. Needed some operational experience, a heavyweight that could come in and really push us past that boundary of where we were going already. We already knew that we were doing well. We needed to do better. And so bringing in Jay kind of puts us in many different realms. It both legitimizes our business. It shows that you don't need to be a location incumbent to be able to understand location. Jay gets location just in a different way. He gets it that every company that he advises and every company that he sees in the news these days is wanting to add location. So by understanding that, he recognized that we have an opportunity to sit at the center of this kind of impending explosion of apps, and he wanted to capitalize on that opportunity. And thankfully, he chose us to kind of make that happen.
You must have been really convincing to get him out of his self-imposed valley exile.
Yeah, as much as I heard from many different individuals that say he would never be CEO again, somehow we got him convinced.
Cool. I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt.